This is Eagle Al, and today I will be talking about the Eagles must destroy the Browns today. And today is a game day, and I will let you know the keys to victory. Let's get straight into it. All right, man, before we hop straight into it, the Eagles made some roster moves. So we signed Paris Campbell. Yes, we signed Paris Campbell to the active roster. So what do that mean? That mean this week, no Sidney Brown. He was a full participant. He practiced. Probably thought he was going to play, but no Sidney Brown. You get no Anaya Smith. So I guess we just going to rock with who we got, which we should still be able to win this game. I'm assuming the Eagles like, let's just give it an extra week. This is a game we should win. Let Sidney Brown just heal up a little more. This is no game to rush him out for, to be honest. But I could see the other side too, like, okay, this is a warm-up game. Let's get Sidney Brown going. But I guess the Eagles just looking at it another way. But signing Paris Campbell or elevating him to the active roster does make me a little upset about the Jihad Dotson thing because I was one of the few guys. I'm telling you, I was one of the few guys that was saying, like, I'm good with Covey, Paris Campbell, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Like, I'm cool with that. But everybody was pushing me like, nah, we need a third wide receiver. We need somebody. And the Eagles did get somebody in Jihad Dotson, and we seen all of them play. And to be honest, the best receiver on the field, it looked like it was Paris Campbell. So I think this is a good move. Hopefully Jihad Dotson is not a waste. Hopefully, we see him get involved, especially a game like this, just get him warmed up. Uh, so far, I don't know. It's looking like, Washington might got one up on us, but we'll see. It's a long season ahead. They had a bye week. The chemistry just might not be there yet. So, hoping for the best for Jihad Dotson, man. Because if he play good, that's just been good for my team. But so far, the signs are pointing like, he might not be it, and that's why we got to sign Paris Campbell. So I don't know. But let's get into, I guess, the keys to victory. So let's start with the offensive side of the ball. For the offensive side of the ball, to me, it's pretty simple. You gotta have no turnovers. He gotta protect the ball. No matter how bad the play calling is or what the offensive coordinator or Nick Sirianni is doing, Jalen Hurts just gotta protect the ball. Believe it or not, the Browns is a good defense. I know they're a little hurt. I think their safety is going to be out, and Denzel Ward is questionable. So I'm not sure if he's playing or not as I make this video. But Jalen Hurts got to protect the ball. We have to see like a game where we play clean football. You got your stars against a depleted Browns. You can do this. You can do this. Let's play a clean football game. Get that stuff out your head because while I'm not one of those guys that be saying, "Oh, we 2-9 or 2-10 from last season," because I think the team from last season is totally different from this season. The only really common denominator, to be honest, is Nate Sirianni. But to me, the team is completely different. So I don't want to compare apples to oranges. But the other common thing is that Jalen Hurts still psychologically is giving the ball away a lot. Even though we heard all these things in training camp and he only threw one pick in training camp, none of that matters in, I guess, real football because all Jalen Hurts been doing is giving away the ball. So we need to see a clean football game. Even if we don't get a clean football game, I think we can win this game. But I still go into the next game with questions like, why can't we just take care of the ball? Because I think we play the Giants next. They got a better defense and they got a better offense. So they can capitalize while the Browns might not capitalize off the turnovers like another team. But Bengals, who we got, can capitalize off of that. Giants, who we got, can capitalize off of that. Even though they're bad teams, they can capitalize off of turnovers, whereas though the Browns, not so much because Deshaun Watson. So we need to see a clean football game first from Jalen Hurts. Offensive coordinator or Nick Sirianni, you gotta get Saquon Barkley involved early. You can't be like, you know what? We got Saquon. Let's start running it now. The start of the third quarter, and in the first half, he only had 2 carries. Get Saquon involved early. Give him some, screen passes if you got to do it that way. Give him some handoffs, man. He deserved the handoffs. So I think we could get our offense going better that way. Like, say if we hand it all to him, and now the next play is 2nd and 5 instead of throwing the incompletion. Now 2nd and 10, and now you're panicking. You want to throw it again. Now it's 3rd and 10. Whereas though you somewhat run it, you get a 2nd and 5. Now that opened up the playbook even more. Maybe you just run it again. Maybe you get like a 3rd and 3 or a 3rd and 1. It's way different than a 3rd and 10. So we got to get Saquon involved. Them scripted plays got to be well written because I'm sorry, I can't be known as a team that just haven't scored a point in the first quarter. Like that 2022 team, don't want to visit the past, but with that team is that we got off to fast starts. Starting behind just limits you because now you turn into this one-dimensional team. You're trying to catch up. Now you just throwing, hoping for big plays. Whereas though if you're ahead and you start ahead, your playbook is wide open. So we got to find a way to start fast. Just start fast, man. So offensive play callers, get the run game going. Get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith some easy catches. Get them going. Get Dallas Goddard going. Don't forget you still had that weapon in Dallas Goddard. Let's get it going, man. Gotta get it going. Defensive side. Defensive side of the ball. What I want to see far as with the defensive side of the ball is don't have Deshaun Watson turn into Houston, Texas Deshaun Watson. Please don't do that. Don't do that to me, defense. No, I know we like to play this off ball coverage type style, but don't have Deshaun Watson looking good out here. Destroy him totally. Just destroy him. Defensive line, get there. Bryce Huff, if you want to turn it around with the fans, hell, for yourself. You want to turn it around for yourself, get the pressure. Get a sack. Maybe get a sack or two. And shut everybody up, especially me. Shut us up. Bryce Huff, you can do it. Josh Sweat, we're going to need you this game too. Last game, I don't think you were that bad against Tampa Bay. Josh Sweat, I think you were great. But the scoreboard didn't show that. And the missed tackles by the other teammates didn't show that. But I thought Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham played pretty good. It's just Baker Mayfield was getting the ball out of his hands so fast. Nothing else wasn't working. So defensive line, we need you guys. Get the pressure. Get Deshaun Watson to the ground. Linebackers, cornerbacks. When you get your hands on somebody, don't dive at their feet. Wrap them up, tackle them. Because we see the fatal flaw with this defense is that if you miss a tackle, all hell can break loose. It can turn a 2-yard gain to a 40-yard gain. That's what happens when you miss tackles in this scheme. You got to make your one-on-one tackles. And I get it. We want to go at Vic Fangio. We want to say, oh, what's going on with his scheme, this and that. It sucks. We should bring more pressure. Why, I agree. But there's a other side of missing tackles. You got to make the tackles. Nakobe Dean, if you want to be that guy, especially you can't cover, you got to make the tackles. You got to be one of the best tacklers on this team. You got to be one of the best tacklers on this team so that you see somebody hit his ass. Get his ass to the ground. None of that diving at the shoestring type shit. Get his ass to the ground. CJ Johnson, you got to stop allowing touchdowns. You were one of the top tier slots in the league at one point. Why the hell you can't cover now? At one point when you was with the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, you was locking everything up. You was catching those picks. We need that CJ Johnson back. And I know he's somewhere in there, but we need that guy back. Reed Blankenship, not sick. I mean, blame the last game on sickness because it made me want to puke seeing you get ran over by Baker Mayfield. That made me want to throw up. But I think Reed will be back, physical Reed, and we know Reed can catch an interception at any time. And don't blame heat this time because in Philadelphia, it's going to be 80 degrees today. It's going to be hot. So It ain't gonna be Tampa hot, but I don't want to hear none of that BS that it was hot. Y'all better get right. Y'all NFL players getting paid millions of dollars. I don't want to hear any of that, man. As far as like Quinyon and Darius Slay, just keep up the good work. They've been playing pretty well. I think Slay had one of his worst games against Tampa Bay, but so far he's been decent. Quinon's been decent, but if I had to nitpick with Quinyon, if they test you early, you gotta catch the pick, man. If it hits you in the hands, you gotta catch the pick. Cause you just look at games like Atlanta. He catch that pick, feel me? Like you take that to the house, because that was a house call right in his hand. We win that game. It's just little things like that. And I get it, batting the ball, getting the most PBUs out of all the cornerbacks that been drafted. I salute that. But picks been in your hands, man. They been right in your hands. Gotta catch them, man. Special teams, just stay competent, man. Stay competent. Don't run into the punt returner or kick returner. Just don't make boneheaded mistakes where as though it set the offense back or set the team back. Just be competent and do what you have to do. I mean, hopefully the special teams can help because Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo adding 2 points definitely help. So if we could get anything out of the special teams, cool. But just don't shoot us in the foot. Like, don't try to do too much. If we got Kenneth Gainwell back there, he tried to take it from the end zone, they get to the 20, whereas though he could have just kneeled there and got it to the 30 and we got better field position. Like, don't do things whereas though it set the offense back or set the defense back. Just be competent, man. But we got to destroy the Browns. We are the better team. Just destroy them. Please, let's just have a fun game. I want to sit back and chill. I don't want to be on my heels this game. But Eagles, you guys do it to us all the time. But I'm hoping not this time. Please, not this time. But that's all I got for you guys today. Of course, I will have a video out. I will give my immediate reaction. I usually do it from my phone, not the studio. And this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm up.